Both Rinku and Dinesh came from very, 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 very small towns in India. They weren't city kids, they weren't, prep school boys or any of this. They were from very, very small villages in India, and this was their first experience basically outside of that village. And it was, as you might imagine, completely overwhelming for them, especially not really speaking the language very well, and having that barrier as well as the barrier of not knowing how to turn on the TV or what's on the TV or where the elevator goes up or down or how it works, how does all this work. They're completely in a new environment, and part of the story is that JB is not doing his sort of job taking care of them very well, and realizes at a certain point that he is responsible for these two kids, and he made a promise to their families that he would take care of them. And taking care of them doesn't mean just like throwing pizza at them. It means like, introducing them to this society and informing them and helping them and leading them through this experience. And again, that's part of the journey that he makes in turning from just an agent to what ends up being a father figure. It's very much a symbiotic relationship in that, and again, sort of what I was saying earlier, but like, you have to give to get, and no relationship works if it's just one direction. And he gets so much from these kids, love and humor and opportunity and exposure to a completely different way of life and serenity and all of these things, as well as the other stuff that comes from like taking care of teenagers, which is like insanity and the police and vomit and all the stuff that is not maybe as life affirming or enriching, but it's still part of it. And he gives them leadership and opportunity and hopefully a career. There is certainly that aspect of America being the place where you can come and achieve. That two kids from the sticks of India basically can come and be what every little kid in America dreams of, being a Major League Baseball player. I wanted to be a Major League Baseball player when I was a little kid. I just wasn't good enough. I kind of wish I got taught by Tom House when I was 17, and maybe I would have been a little different, but whatever. It is that. It is a representation of that, of like, come here, you can achieve. It might not be easy. You're gonna have to work hard, but if you do, this whole system opens up for you. And having met both Rinku and Dinesh, they're American now. I mean, they are as American as you get. It's hilarious, and it's fascinating to see, because America is that place where you can come and be welcome and be kind of assimilated and achieve. You just have to work hard. The odds that they would achieve and succeed in this arena are astronomical. I mean, you just break it down by numbers, and it's, think of all the little kids in America alone, not to mention Venezuela and Dominican Republic and all the Caribbean, Canada, Europe, everywhere else that plays baseball. All those little kids have that same dream. They all want to get to the majors. So you just break down the numbers, and there aren't that many roster spots in the majors and the minors and the farm systems and everything. So there's just not that much space. And so to take kids that have literally never touched a baseball, train them from, the ground up, is crazy. But it worked. And I think part of the reason that it worked is like, there's no bad habits to break down either. They're blank slates, and you can teach them the exact proper way to do it. And if they're diligent and hardworking and committed, they will follow the program and rise to a level that I could never get to, because I'm used to doing it my way, and I'd have to unlearn that and then relearn the right way to do it. They've only known the right way. And so in many ways, it's a very interesting kind of thought experiment about how to train the kind of the perfect pitcher. And they're both insanely good pitchers with velocity that I'll never have. So it's a very cool thing, but astronomical odds. He's sort of philosophical, very intelligent, very almost scientific about how he approaches pitching and physics and all the millions of calculations that go into throwing and manipulating a pitched ball. So he took it, I think, on as kind of a challenge and an experiment. And yeah, one of those things like, we'll see what we can do. Why not? And JB smartly makes the argument to him of like, is there any better pitch for your system than doing this? If you can make these two guys into prospects in the window of time that we have, who can then deny that your system doesn't work? And that was a very smart way to approach that. And I think Tom took that as a challenge and as what he thought, I think, hopefully would be an affirmation of his system.